Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Bishop Gabriel Malzer calls for peace as political rhetoric ramps up ahead of the upcoming election. A former UWP senator says the party he once belonged to has lost its way. And Dominica embarks on a drive to ensure all its senior citizens are documented. The details coming up.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Bishop of Roseau, His Lordship Gabriel Malzer, has added his voice to the call for peace this election season. Dominica is in a heightened state of political tension as the Labour Party rallies to launch new candidates are wrapping up. And as the United Workers' Party embarks on a number of actions to get government to account for an alleged $1.2 billion of missing citizenship by investment CBI funds. The next general election is constitutionally due in 2020, and the country is waiting with bated breath for Prime Minister Skerrit to announce the election date. Bishop of Roseau, Gabriel Malzer, says while it is a volatile political time, the church will continue to preach a message of peace.
One of the things that the church tries to, or that always proclaims, is the question of peace. We really would like, that the pre-election period would be prepared in a relative peace, and that the interest of everybody would be considered, and that it would be a period of rational dialogue, that people would be able to see the value of an election and how it is meant to determine what our next leadership is going to be, but it has to be done on a very rational level, not emotions flying about and people taking decisions that or expressing the opinions that will not yield to something positive.
His Lordship urged all Dominicans to work together for the development of the country despite the political leanings and differences.
We know that it is a very volatile period, and therefore we all together as a nation seeking for peace, we should work towards that.
The Labour Party candidate to contest the Roseau North seat at the next general election, Joseph Isaac, says the opposition United Workers' Party has lost its way. Speaking at last weekend's launching of the Labour Party's candidate for Roseau Valley, Dr. Irving McIntyre, Isaac said Dr. Thompson Fontaine abandoned his position as a UWP senator and moved to Sudan, while Joshua Francis, another promising politician, has been embroiled in alleged misconduct. A year and a half ago, Isaac himself left the UWP for the Dominica Labour Party, a move which he says highlights his desire to put country first. He says the UWP candidate for Roseau Valley keeps asking where's the alleged missing money instead of showing more concern for the people.
These guys have not dedicated their life to trying to uplift young people, like what Dr. Irvin McIntyre has done in sports, in medicine, and in the community. That is what we need in leaders. To move a country, we need three things. We need representation, a good team, and an effective leader.
Isaac says as far as comparing the opposition leader's social skills to that of the Prime Minister, there is no comparison.
I left the United Workers' Party because I had issues with Lennox's inability and unwillingness to show that he cares truly about people.
Isaac says Dominicans should focus not on what the opposition leader says, but on what he does. Reflecting on the UWP's recent protest action and its boycott of significant national events, the former UWP senator says the opposition leader has demonstrated that he is reckless and irresponsible and should be held accountable at the polls. Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan supports the Attorney General's position on the ineffectiveness of certain recommendations proposed by a joint commission on electoral reform in Dominica. The Joint Commission consisted of members of CARICOM, the Commonwealth, and the Organization of American States, OAS. Government does not support a recommendation for a house-to-house re-verification exercise, as it believes this is unworkable. Attorney General Levi Peter says besides causing confusion and disruption if implemented, this will not result in the cleansing of the list or updating of the register. Here is Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan on the concerns surrounding certain recommendations in the report.
The Attorney General's position is very simple, that at the end of the confirmation, we would have a brand new list with everybody on that list having been confirmed in accordance with the law. With the recommendations made by the observers, that is very unlikely to happen. That is very unlikely to happen because names will still be on. Just imagine not being able to find 10,000 people, 5 to 10,000 people not cooperating, cannot be found in the diaspora or on the land somewhere. You publish their names, they don't come up and their name is still on the list, but then that's not a cleansing process.
It is also a concern that the proposed re-verification will not result in the mandatory use of photo ID cards for voting.
We're going to have a process which will not be clinical because there'll be hangovers on who we don't know who they are, where they are, whether they're qualified or not. And then we are suggesting that those who escape the re-verification process and who don't have a ID card can vote using a passport. But that's precisely what we're trying to avoid. And the recommendations by the Commission do not on that issue do not help us to resolve that problem.
The Attorney General maintains that electoral reform must be well managed to ensure it fulfills its intended purpose without confusing electors. He has also warned that an unsuccessful attempt at reform could have serious consequences. Needy families in La Plaine constituency received commitment letters to their new housing units at a ceremony on Tuesday afternoon. 66 units were due to be distributed. Government is reportedly on target to construct 5,000 homes in the post-Hurricane Maria period. Outgoing MP for La Plaine constituency Peter Saint-Jean urged constituents of voting age to prepare to make an impact for Labour this election. Prime Minister Skerritt told the gathering Peter Saint-Jean should be acknowledged for his efforts. Mr. Skerritt told his audience that had it not been for the CBI funds, Dominica would have been in dire straits following Hurricane Maria. He says there is a campaign to undermine the CBI program in an attempt to get into power. More on the La Plaine ceremony in our next newscast. You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
Helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. A register of seniors in the country is currently being developed. Here is Andrea Louis with more.
This is among the plans of the Dominica Council on Aging to better account for and provide for Dominica's senior citizens. Dominica joined the rest of the world in observing International Day of Older Persons on Tuesday, 1st October, and the president of the Council on Aging, Ophelia Marie, says there are challenges in executing the work needed to complete the register.
There is work on that happening. We have a field officer who is rather limited. In fact, we have 2 field officers. I think we need 7. So that is one of the hiccups we have in terms of personnel being able to do the work. But our field officer and our executive officer are so particularly in love with the seniors that they go out on occasion, but they're only 2 people. And that in and of itself is a hindrance, but we are very sensitive to the seniors. We try to find out where they are, if they are at shelters, how is their well-being.
Marie says there are many benefits to having a register of senior citizens in Dominica.
So we can keep track, so we can know what percentage of our population is elderly and in how far they're reaching that 100 and how quickly, because that for us is an achievement, for them to be able to be so resilient, for them to be able to succeed at 100 and moving on. We have persons who are 104, who will be 101, like Mr. Hesketh Kazimi is one of those who was 100 last year in October, and he's getting to 101 this year. And that's just one of them. So we need to know what's happening to them. We need to stay in touch with their families.
International Day of Older Persons in Dominica is preceded by a month of activities in September, which is known as Month of the Elderly.
If I go straight to the theme is Pioneers of Resilience, Journeying to Age Equality. Journeying to Age Equality is in fact the theme of the United Nations for the 1st of October, which is the International Day of Older Persons. And since in Dominica we celebrate in September, we try to take some of what they have by way of a theme and also add on what we think should be highlighted. We're saying that the senior persons in Dominica are the pioneers of the resilience that we would like to build in Dominica.
An extensive education program to be launched here in an effort to get more women involved in the maritime industry.
Dominica recently established its Women in Maritime Association Caribbean, WIMAC, taking the number of WIMAC countries in the Caribbean up to 15. President of the Dominica chapter, Tamara Lowe, says it is important for young girls and women to know the opportunities available to them through the maritime industry.
WIMAC's mission includes empowerment, primarily empowerment of women in maritime industry, creating a mentorship program. At any one point in time, they have myself or Mrs. Azil to guide them in terms of what next. And like I said, we want them to move in more leadership roles, and we want to answer the questions as to what does that entail, how do you design your life to move up in terms of education, in terms of empowerment.
Lowe says networking among fellow WIMAC countries will also be beneficial for Dominica.
There's a bigger organization called WISTA, which is a bigger umbrella, more of an international organization when it comes to shipping and trade. But we hope to create a network where women can see how other women in other countries are flourishing in the industry, to see what opportunities there are in terms of moving to other roles, in terms of looking at also what educational opportunities that they need to be looking at, what path they should be taking, all of that. So that will be open to them.
And Dominicans remembered and paid tribute to the late Prime Minister Roosevelt Rosie Douglas on Tuesday. The late Prime Minister's nephew and MP for the Portsmouth constituency, Honorable Ian Douglas, was among government officials who paid tribute to the late fallen hero on radio programs on Tuesday. After losing the 1995 election, Rosie Douglas became Dominica's Prime Minister in February 2000. Prime Minister Douglas, known by many as Rosie, died suddenly on October 1st that same year, shortly after his 58th birthday.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Bishop Gabriel Malzer calls for peace as political rhetoric ramps up ahead of the general elections. A former UWP senator says the party he once belonged to has lost its way. And Dominica embarks on a drive to ensure all seniors or senior citizens are documented. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.